Chapter 22, Dieting and Weight Loss. Before we wrap up our final chapter on eating, I wanted to devote some conversation to dieting and weight loss. With the obesity epidemic in full swing around the globe, more and more people are looking for ways to lose weight. Why diets do not work. Today, approximately 100 million people in the United States are currently on some type of diet to lose weight and spend upwards of $60 to $70 billion a year on weight loss related products and services. Here's the craziest stat of all. The weight loss industry has a failure rate of over 95%. People may lose weight, but most have not learned how to develop a lifestyle that they can sustain and enjoy. After spending more than 35 years in the health and fitness industry, I have watched numerous nutritional strategies come and go. What can we learn from the past? We know diets do not work, which is why there's always some new diet on the market and another one on the way. Let's take a quick journey back in time. Some of these strategies are scary, and some may even look a little familiar. In the 1820s, Lord Byron made popular the vinegar and water diet, which entailed drinking water mixed with apple cider vinegar. Lord Byron would be happy to see apple cider vinegar making a powerful comeback. In the 1920s, the Lucky Strike cigarette brand launched Reach for a Lucky Strike instead of a sweet. This campaign tried to capitalize on nicotine's appetite-suppressing superpower. Did people really believe that smoking would be the answer to losing weight? I believe many did. In the 1950s, it was the cabbage soup diet, promised people they could lose over 10 to 15 pounds in a week by eating a limited diet, including cabbage soup every day. People must have been in the bathroom a lot. In the 1960s, Weight Watchers made its debut with a point system. It is a great way to keep people aware of the quantity of the food they consume. Weight Watchers has been upgraded over the years and today is a pretty solid program that provides a focused eating plan. In the 1970s, new diets included the Scarsdale Medical Diet, Slim Fast, and one of my favorites, the Cookie Diet. The cookies were made with a blend of amino acids designed to curb appetite. Hollywood ate this up. In the 1980s, the high-carb, low-fat movement began. If a food was fat-free or low-fat, it was a go. McDonald's introduced the McLean Deluxe Low-Fat Burger. Other products included Snackwell cookies, less bread, Entenmann's low-fat coffee cake, muffins, bagels, and no-fat frozen yogurt. There was even a Seinfeld episode on the no-fat yogurt craze where Jerry's pants were getting too tight. Obesity and type 2 diabetes began to explode. What were we thinking? In the 1990s, the high-protein, anti-carb movement hit the United States. The Atkins and South Beach era took hold. High protein became the answer, and carbohydrates became the villain. Eat all the protein possible. Eggs, dairy, bacon, hot dogs, beef, chicken, jerky, meat, and more meat. Just stay away from the bun. If the food or beverage was high in protein and low in carbohydrates, it got a green light. On this diet, hair became thin and brittle. Skin felt like sandpaper, and breasts smelled like nail polish. People experienced low mood, trouble sleeping, constipation, and digestive health issues. But hey, look at me. I have lost weight and look great. In the 2000s, the FDA banned diet drugs and supplements containing ephedra after it was linked to heart attacks. A non-prescription drug, Alli, hit the market. By sprinkling this powder on food, the body would not absorb much of the food, resulting in weight loss. Seriously, gang, this was not that long ago. In the year 2010, HCG diet combined a fertility drug with a strict 500 to 800 calorie a day regimen with no exercise to lose 1 pound a day for 30 days. Imagine what was truly going on inside the body following this plan. The ketogenic diet. There are many diet trends currently on the market today. One in particular I think needs better understanding is the ketogenic diet, the keto. Keto has been around for decades as a very specific treatment plan for epilepsy. Over the last few years, this diet's been gaining popularity for its claims for quick weight loss, gains in energy and mental clarity, and decreased food cravings. The ketogenic diet severely reduces carbohydrate intake while increasing fat intake. Let's dive into this a little deeper. Our body uses energy simply to stay alive. This is called our basal metabolic rate, or BMR. As we move throughout our day or add exercise to the mix, the need for more energy increases. Most of our energy usually comes from the food we eat. The bulk of our energy comes from 3 macronutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. This is where the chemistry lesson begins, and we see how amazing the human body is designed. When we eat carbohydrates, they're broken down into glucose and used for immediate energy. If our energy needs are already fulfilled, carbohydrates may then be stored as glycogen in our muscles and liver. If our energy demands are met and glycogen reserves are already at capacity, carbohydrates may then be stored as fat. Glycogen capacity hovers at approximately 2,000 calories. This is a reserve that can be used immediately as an energy demand rises. This process is called glycolysis, a breakdown of glycogen into glucose. The goal of the ketogenic diet is to severely restrict carbohydrate intake, deplete the body's glycogen stores, and force the body to draw on its own fat reserves for its primary fuel source. If there's not enough glucose available to meet energy demands, the body will adopt an alternative strategy in order to meet these demands. This process is called gluconeogenesis, a generation of glucose from non-carbohydrate food sources. As the body begins to break down fat stores to provide glucose, ketone levels in the blood begin to rise. Ketones are potentially toxic byproducts of partially burned fatty acids that the body has used as an alternative fuel source when carbohydrates are not available. These acids slowly build up in the blood and are eliminated in the urine and through the breath. In small amounts, they serve to indicate the body is breaking down fat. However, high levels of ketones can poison the body, leading to a process called ketoacidosis. As the body begins to break down fat stores to provide glucose, ketone levels in the blood begin to rise. This is known as ketosis. Health and performance. Take a macronutrient, carbohydrates, proteins, or fats, out of the diet, and a macro problem will develop. The human body needs a balance of all 3 of these macronutrients for optimal health and performance. Ideally, the human brain needs approximately 100 grams or 400 calories of carbohydrates per day for fuel. When any of these 3 macronutrients becomes compromised, the brain neurotransmitters that regulate mood, serotonin, dopamine, GABA, and adrenaline may get out of balance. Serotonin and GABA cool or relax the central nervous system. Dopamine and adrenaline, on the other hand, stimulate and rev up the central nervous system. One of the ketogenic diet claims is that a diet high in fat and low in carbohydrates clears up brain fog and helps concentration. This may be true if people have been consuming a lot of processed, unhealthy sources of carbohydrates that cause the person to be tired and lack focus. What is not being discussed is the quality and quantity of these carbohydrates currently being consumed before cutting them out. Imagine what is taking place inside the brain when a person eats a diet deficient in high-quality carbohydrates. Serotonin and GABA become compromised, leading to problems quieting the brain. The mind begins to race. Staying asleep becomes a major problem, and anxiety starts to climb. On the other side of the ledger, a diet primarily consisting of processed carbohydrates with little protein or fat causes dopamine and adrenaline to become compromised, leading to a lethargic mind and body. Removing carbohydrates from our nutritional plan may cause other imbalances to occur. A diet low in carbohydrates like fruits, vegetables, ancient grains, and starchy carbohydrates will cause the body to become deficient in valuable vitamins and minerals. It is a shift in pH balancing, moving to the acid side of the pH scale. This leads to a depletion of precious buffering minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and potassium, as they try to bring pH back into balance. This high acid level also begins to wreak havoc on the gut, digestion, blood work, and the immune system, leading to more allergies, asthma, acid reflux, gout, and high blood pressure. High acid levels may also elevate homocysteine and highly sensitive C-reactive protein, two blood tests that measure oxidation and inflammation, key risk factors for heart disease and cancer. Expanding human capacity. Taking carbohydrates out of the diet not only compromises our health, but also limits our capacity. My son Matt and I co-wrote the book Capacity a few years ago. Its underlying theme is that human capacity can be expanded by building greater health. As health improves, so does capacity, providing more fuel in the tank when it's needed. The human body, at its greatest demand, will move to the most efficient fuel source, and that, my friends, is carbohydrates. Fat is a great fuel source for walking in the woods or working on the computer. For greater performance and expanded capacity, carbohydrates are the high-octane fuel needed. Getting leaner. In today's world of nutrition, the word carbohydrate has become demonized. The word on the street is if we want to get leaner, have greater mental clarity, and perform at our best, we need to cut carbohydrates out of the diet. As was mentioned earlier in this section, many people have been led to believe that when they cut out carbohydrates, they will lose weight. This may be true in the short term, but is not sustainable. Many people believe that when we increase fat or protein intake and decrease carbohydrate intake, we teach the body to burn fat as a major fuel source. Many believe that consuming carbohydrates and the ability to burn fat do not go together. The truth is we can burn fat while also consuming carbohydrates. My exercise physiology professor, Dr. Kwok Ho, told his students over and over that fat burns in the carbohydrate flame. Not only do carbohydrates provide energy for working muscles, but they also assist in enabling fat metabolism. Fat burns in a carbohydrate flame. I have personally competed in many natural bodybuilding contests starting back in 1985. My most recent contest was in 2013 at the age of 56. For my first contest, I followed the traditional bodybuilding diet of bulking up and then cutting down. My eating plan consisted of a diet high in protein and moderate in fat. During the last 6 weeks leading up to the contest, I began to carb deplete. I took out oatmeal, fruit, and starchy carbohydrates. I began to eat only vegetables, salads, healthy fats, meat, and fish. 3 days prior to the contest, I began to carb load, adding carbohydrates back into my diet to fill my muscles with glycogen and water. I may have looked good up on stage, but I was miserable. I was dehydrated, my skin was dry, sleep had become a problem, I developed acid reflux, and I was grouchy and tired most of the time. I never wanted to experience this misery again. I understood this type of eating was not healthy. There had to be a healthier way to get in great shape. Remembering the words of Dr. Ho, I made it my goal for my next contest to get in great shape and also have vibrant health. So I changed my approach. I ate in the center of the food target for 3 months leading up to the contest with a balance of high-quality carbs, proteins, and fats. I brought oatmeal back for breakfast with fruit. Apples, bananas, raisins, and potatoes were all back as part of my plan. I fasted overnight for 12 to 14 hours and ate every 3 to 4 hours. The results were fantastic. I got in great shape with the vibrant health I was looking for. Get to your goal. To achieve greater energy, a lean, attractive body, and most importantly, vibrant health, follow these simple principles. Water. Drink half your body weight in ounces of water each day. Superfoods. Add a few superfoods to your current nutritional plan. These include omega-3 fats, frozen wheatgrass, spirulina, chlorella, greens, cacao nibs, coconut, colorful fruits and vegetables, sweet potatoes, ancient grains, nuts, and seeds. Quality. Slowly upgrade the quality of the food choices by using the food target as your guide. Balance. Eat a balance of high-quality carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Meal patterning. Pattern your meals by experimenting with fasting and frequency. Fasting. Fast for 12 to 14 hours each day. Frequency. Slowly increase the frequency of your meals. Try to eat 3 to 4 small meals every 3 to 4 hours. Quantity. Be aware of quantity and the food you consume. 80-20 rule. Develop a plan that you can enjoy and live with. Move daily. One of the keys for sustaining weight loss is daily movement or exercise. It's not the calories burned during the workout, but the engine being built. Approximately 75 to 80% of our daily calories burned comes from our basal metabolic rate. Our BMR is the engine. The bigger the engine, the more calories the body burns to keep it running. This is why exercise, especially strength training, is so beneficial in building a high metabolic engine. Strength training can also stimulate youthful, lean hormones. More will be said on this topic in Section 5, Movement, Your Fountain of Youth. Learn how to pivot and enjoy the journey. This is your plan. Make mistakes and try new foods. Most importantly, enjoy the process. As my daughter Kristen likes to say, use common sense when it comes to new diets and food trends. If you would not consider feeding a food to a 5-year-old child, it is probably not a healthy option for yourself. If you can eat as much bacon as you want, but cannot eat a bowl of oatmeal or a piece of fruit, it is probably not a good thing either. Trust your gut. It is always right. Make the decision. When consulting with a man many months ago, I asked him what made him motivated to get healthier and in better shape. He said, I stepped on the scale and looked down and the scale read 250 pounds. I was totally shocked. I had no idea that I had slowly gained over 50 pounds. I said to myself, enough is enough, and made the decision at that moment that I was going to take control of my weight and my health. When discussing weight loss with almost everyone, it always comes back to one key point. When did you decide? Once people make the decision, no more second guessing, no more starting next week. Now is the time, and this is what I'm going to do. Here's a few questions for you. Are you ready? Are you able? And most importantly, are you willing? Dieting and weight loss essentials. Big picture. Obesity levels around the world continue to rise. 100 million people in the United States are currently on some type of diet. The weight loss industry is a $60 to $70 billion a year business with a 95% failure rate. The human body needs a balance of healthy carbohydrates, proteins, and fats for optimal health and performance in all aspects of life. If you would not consider feeding a food to a 5-year-old child, it is probably not a healthy option for yourself. Ask yourself, how much do you currently weigh? How much would you like to weigh? When was the last time you were on a diet? What worked? What did not? What new habit did you develop? What did you learn? Before adopting a diet, determine if this is in line with the 3 principles: cell health, pH balance, and close to the source. Does your current nutritional plan include a balance of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats? How much water do you drink each day? Do you fast 12 to 14 hours overnight? How often do you move your body? How can you enjoy the process of eating better? Small steps. Choose 2 to 3 steps to take to get you closer to your desired body weight. Do a 1-day food log to create awareness of what you are eating. Have the courage to monitor your body weight with a scale, a pair of pants, a belt, or the mirror. Build one habit at a time. And lastly, learn how to pivot and enjoy the journey.